Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Well, all right. Welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast, Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about creepers. I was actually getting my hair cut the other day, and the girl's telling me all these stories about, oh, did you hear this girl just had her purse grabbed from her at Target? And then this other girl chimes in, oh, well, my daughter was just at the Walmart, and she's in one section, and she sees some creepy guy staring at her while she's, shopping or whatever. So she's like, all right, that's weird, and goes to another section. And sure enough, she looks up, and that guy comes over to the same section, and he's staring at her. She goes to a third section, same thing. Then when she goes to check out, she sees him sitting in the chair, like waiting, by the exit, watching her, check out. Now, obviously, some red flags should be raised in your mind at this point, a couple of points ago, actually. Then she goes to go out to her car because it still wasn't enough hints for her. And the guy pulls up like in front of where she's walking and is like, oh, go ahead. I didn't see you there and whatever. So, I think a big thing is people need to trust their instincts. Like, she obviously noticed all these things because she brought it up, but you need to trust your instincts in order to act. And the thing is, like, even if, you're a normal law-abiding citizen, there's a chance that people could be following you at some point in your life and looking to do harm, right? There's creepers and traffickers out there. There's, maybe an ex-employee that you fired, or maybe, somebody who used to date your girlfriend or your ex or your whatever. There's just crazies out there. And you need to be aware and start paying attention to what's going on in the world. So what are you thinking, Kevin?
I think that most women at some point in their life have had to deal with a creeper. And a lot of these people, a lot of the creepers are people that they don't know you, but they feel like they know you. Or they love you.
Oh.
Since that, I read that most stalkers, 6% of men have done stalking shit in their life. And on average, they've done it 6 times.
Whoa.
So when somebody's a stalker, they're a stalker. That's just like their crazy behavior shit that they just do. It's like psychopaths, you know what I mean? They just are that way.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people shrug some of this shit off, or try and talk to the creeper.
Yeah.
But everybody says that the best thing to do is avoid all contact with these people, all interactions with them. And it's can be kind of fucking scary because you have no idea what these people are thinking or what they're intending,
They're obviously not people who think rationally or, at least a normal thought pattern like everybody else, because obviously this isn't something we're all doing,
Right.
There's actually a thing that the CIA used to teach people when they're, looking in, am I being followed or, that kind of thing. They'd say one time that you run into somebody, it's an accident. 2 times it's a coincidence, and 3 times it's an enemy action.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's, if you come in, cross paths with somebody 3 times, it's not an accident. There is something going on, and somebody's, you see the guy with the blue ball cap, 8 times or 3 times in a day, there's something going on. He's checking you out, and you need to start, raise your alert status. So a lot of the stuff when you're an individual, there's things you can do if you think you're being, followed. One of the things is to all right, say you're on foot, right? And you think, hey, that guy, a couple stores back looks like he's been behind me for, I noticed him for a while, and I've made a few turns and he's, made those turns with me. Maybe he's going to the same place. I don't know. One of the things you can do is change your pace, your gait, your speed, and you kind of see, sometimes, believe it or not, is if you actually just turn and go another direction and kind of, see what's happening, you can kind of feel it out that way. Just complete, even a 180. Now, obviously, if you're worried about running into the guy and you're a 100-pound girl and you're worried about, this big guy going to grab you, that's maybe not the move. Maybe you turn to the left or the right. If you have enough time, you could do a complete block. But the big thing you want to do is you want to get to a crowded area where other people are going to be around. People are usually less likely to do something if there's people around. And so to walk into the dark alley just to find out if he's actually following you is not the move you want to take. You want to stay around safety. And you maybe want to go to the guy who, hey, that guy looks like somebody who would help me, and he's a big guy, and he, wouldn't have a problem with this crazy person attacking me. These are the kind of things that you want to look for and utilize to your advantage, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, in my experience, when it comes to a woman's safety and her being nervous, look for the big scary biker.
Yeah, bikers are good.
Because generally speaking, they're actually pretty good dudes most of the time.
Most of the time.
And the truth is that stalkers wait for their for the optimum situation.
Yes.
You want to stay in a now stalking is illegal in all 50 states.
Oh, yeah, that's not something we can do because I was thinking about, hey, maybe this is something I want to take up.
Take up a new hobby?
A weekend pastime, No, it's a no-go.
Yeah. No, it's how they classify it is they call it a pattern of behavior directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to feel fear.
Oh.
So that really opens up all sorts of behavior. And it's better to cry wolf in these sorts of situations.
Yes.
Than to and generally speaking, when you do try and, call the police or something like that, they're going to show up. There's not going to be anything going on.
Right.
Because the person's going to have taken off.
Right.
And it's better to do something like that and have people think, oh, this person's just, crazy or crying out for attention or something like that.
Well, the cool thing is, right. And also, if you say something to the police or your friends and everybody, and they're all like, oh, you're just overreacting, it's not happening, you're crazy, when you do get abducted and cut into little pieces and put in the freezer, they're going to be like, oh, shit, I should have listened. And at least you'll have that.
Yeah.
You'll be like, well, I did make them feel bad,
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, at least you get that going for you.
Yeah. All right. So, let's go over a couple of safety tips
Okay.
for and I feel like there are probably people right now out there that want to kill me.
Well, that's a given.
Fairly certain. Fortunately, most of them are just really lazy and don't put any
they don't have
effort
that kind of energy. Yeah.
I mean, hey, look it. If you want a shot at the title, come on. But if you're
now,
just sitting at home and thinking about it,
yeah,
it ain't going to do any good for anybody.
Well, I've also heard it's good to confront. Like if again, if you're in the dark alley, the confronting might not help you, and you might want to keep that getting away. But if you're around people, if you turn around and are very vocal and like, hey, what are you doing? You need something? Can I help you? That kind of thing. I guess in a lot of attackers' minds, it's, this person isn't just a victim and whatever. Now, if they're specifically targeting you because you're the daughter of a crime boss and, whatever, it might not work. It may just, kind of open you up right into their hands. But if it's kind of a random abduction kind of thing, they might say, hey, this person's going to be a problem. I should move on to an easier target,
Right.
Now, Kevin carries pepper spray in his purse all the time.
I do. I actually also carry a brick in my purse, so I can hit him with my purse, and it actually means something.
That's smart.
Yeah. Now, I would recommend against carrying a handgun.
Okay.
With you, unless you know how to operate a handgun.
Okay.
If you go to the range once a week, and you know how to handle a firearm, then that's more power to you. But if you've never touched a handgun in your entire life and you've got a stalker and you think, oh, now I'll just get a handgun and carry it with me, it ain't going to do you much good. You might end up getting shot with your handgun. But pepper spray, that at least gives you an opportunity,
Right. If
you can blind somebody or at least get them to get away, back up away from you, it creates the space and it creates not opportunity. Now, if this is an ongoing situation, you're getting notes, you're getting, gifts are being sent to you, or you feel like somebody's following you.
Somebody sent you a dozen black roses.
Right. I knew a girl that got 47 text messages in one day from somebody that she knew who it was, but it was somebody she wasn't interested in.
Why was she denying his love?
Right. Well, it says, let's see here. First thing you should do, if it's somebody you know and you know who it is, stop all contact with them, but keep all evidence like notes, voicemails, text messages. Keep all that stuff and keep a journal of all the incidents that happen.
Times, dates. And when you first realize, like, hey, all right, at first you meet the guy at the nightclub and he's like, hey, let me call you later, and so you don't realize it's not on your radar day one, but 3 days in, you're realizing, hey, this guy's creepy. He's really pushing it. Then kind of make some notes back of what you can remember and then start documenting what you have from there.
Right. And that's really important because a lot of people they think this is going to go away and whatever, just let it be. But most of these incidents span 2 years.
Ooh.
2 years it takes for these things. So keeping a journal about what's going on right at the beginning is really important because you don't know how long this is going to be going on. You should carry a phone with you at all times, in your pocket, with you, with your, on your person at all times. Trust your instincts. Even if nothing is nothing immediately dangerous is happening, but you don't feel comfortable, go somewhere else, go to a crowded place. But you should also have a safe place in mind, whether it's, family's house, a friend's house. If you feel like you're being followed, don't go back to your house. If you feel like somebody's following you, don't let them know where you live or where you stay. It's important to vary your routine too. If you're varying your routine, you take different ways to get to work, different ways to get home. You go to work 15 minutes early or 15 minutes late, things like that. And you still see this person following you.
Right.
Maybe keep in mind that they have a GPS tracker on you. It's not hard to do anymore. They can put that on your car without you noticing it. And, if they're showing up places where you're not normally at, then maybe that's something to think about.
That's the thing. I mean, we've really opened the door with technology to stalkers where they can kind of, find you anywhere. It's kind of crazy where, so it used to be like expensive, to track somebody. Now
Right.
for $75, they can buy, a little tracker they can follow on their phone. So it all of a sudden becomes a different opportunity compared to what it used to be years ago.
Yeah, I think that you see all these Ring cameras being hacked lately.
Yeah,
It's all over the news the past couple of days. Santa Claus was creeping on some little girl in her bedroom.
it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah. I think if any of you guys have seen the news, you've seen the stories about that sort of stuff. And it really can get, you're setting up these devices to protect yourself, and it ends up being, an advantage for somebody that's trying to do you harm. Be aware of how much personal information you post on your social media. You can do a lot as far as hiding your address, like getting P.O. boxes. You can even, if you feel like you're being stalked, there's resources out there where you can go. Every state is different, but I think most places you would go to the DMV, and you can sign up to hide your address, and that'll make it legal for you to put a different address when you're filling out things like billing information and stuff like that. You can use an alternate address, and it won't be an issue. Now, every state, it works differently, but you need to look up the resources in your state and find out what your best options are for that. When you're posting pictures of yourself and your family in social media, that really can be a dangerous thing to do if you're not if you don't have your privacy settings. Be aware who your friends are on Facebook. Sometimes when you first set up your Facebook, you add everybody that wants to be your friend, and then you go back through and like I have friends like that on my Facebook that I go back through and I'm like, who the fuck even is this person?
Right.
I got no idea who you are. And, I have my Facebook's, privacy setting all the way up. But if you're my friend on there, it doesn't matter how much privacy I have on it because you can access all my information anyway.
Right.
Because I already let you in before I was concerned about it.
Right. Like imagine if you had a Facebook group and you just let anybody join. There's a reason those groups are closed.
Mm-hmm.
That was right, ironic because we have a Facebook group and I just kind of let anybody in. I don't know if you caught that there.
Mm-hmm. But when I see somebody do something, say something interesting on the Facebook group, I might go to their Facebook page and see who the fuck they are. You know? If they have two other friends and they just started their Facebook page, last week, maybe I'm not going to trust this person to add them as a friend right away.
Yeah. Because like at first you were like, oh, I would go over and saw off that shotgun about 3 inches under legal for him.
Right.
And then you're like, wait, maybe I'm not going to do that now.
Not now.
Not now.
I don't know you.
That's it. So just keep that in mind. These people can be anybody out there.
Mm-hmm. If you've got a situation like this, it's good to make your neighbors aware of it. I've had neighbors come up to me and say, "Hey, I saw somebody walking, park down the street and then walk up the street and go into your backyard." And it was somebody I knew was coming over, so it wasn't a big deal. But they let me know that it was going to happen, or they let me know that it happened and what was going on, what the person looked like. And if neighbors are watching out for you, if they know that, they need to, keep their eyes open, they'll let you know if they see something out of, unusual going on there. You need to also, in your house, you need to identify escape routes. If somebody's, trying to kick in your front door, you have to have ideas of where you're going to get, where you can get to, where you can get out. Installing solid core doors in your house is a great idea.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think about it, but the truth is a lot of doors on these, prefab houses, they're nothing. They're cardboard, basically.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're there so you can't see people naked.
Right. I did with all my doors, my house, the strike plates come, the strike plate is where your doorknob clicks in.
Right.
And it's a little plate there that kind of protects it from being pushed open. But the screws they usually come with those are, 1.5-inch screws or something.
I think they're usually 1/2-inch screws, but
half-inch screws, right. So the way houses are built and the way door frames are built, you've got two 2x4s immediately on the inside of your door.
Right.
So I put 3-inch screws on all my strike plates just to give it a little extra.
Right, because most of the time, if you buy these little bedroom door kits and they have we'll say 3/4-inch screws, it's not even clearing the door frame. And the inner insert door frame.
Right.
You're not going into the 2x4 and you're really not having any kind of, substantial, holding power there. And the same thing on the hinge side. However, those screws usually come bigger, bigger than the door catch anyway.
Right. But I've gone through hinges and strike plates. I've gone through and taken all the screws out and put 3-inch screws in all of them just to give it a little bit more durability. Maybe it'll take 3 kicks to get it open instead of 1. But, at least that'll give you a little bit of chance. Having a big dog is also, a lot of people worry about, about dogs cleaning up after dogs and taking care of dogs, and people aren't dog people, and they're dirty and they shed hair.
And they poop.
And they do poop, yeah. But the truth is that, a big dog is a big deterrent.
Definitely. Yeah, it's funny. I was, I don't know. So right now, again, the reason I live near a Target where people are getting their purses grabbed and whatever is, I'm kind of at a in-between apartment while I'm waiting to move into a new house. And, where I'm moving to is a little more secluded and, conducive to whatever. So either way, while I'm in this apartment, that's kind of in the city, a small city, but a city. While I'm here, my daughter takes the dog out for walks, and he'll have to sometimes go in the middle of the night, at 11 o'clock or whatever. My wife's very worried about, don't send her out, by herself. You got to go out with her because she needs somebody to protect her. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm coming home from work, and it's 10:30 at night, and as soon as I get there, I'm gonna have to take the dog out, and it's cold. And he's like, wait a minute, she's taking the dog out for a walk, but you feel you need to go out and protect her. He's like, you got the wrong dog. That's
yep.
I was like, that kind of makes a lot of sense. She's holding the dog. He should be there to help the situation,
Yeah. No, I think most dogs, are very protective of their owners.
Yeah.
And some are more so. There are some breeds of dogs. I have an Australian Shepherd, and that dog is specifically, it's a very gentle dog. and a very friendly dog. But as soon as anything aggressive goes on, they lose their shit. You know, I was wrestling around with my kid, and the dog just lost his shit because they're basically designed to be animals that are protecting.
Right.
Defending sheep, defending herd animals, and I think a lot of the even smaller dogs do a good job as far as like they're fully willing to sacrifice their lives to protect you, and a lot of people don't think of dogs as being if you've got a golden retriever, that dog might just run away. But there are a lot of dogs that really are great for that sort of thing. But another thing with your house, think about deadbolts. Think about ways that you can prevent somebody from coming in that you don't want to be inside. Right. And going through some basic safety checklists about protecting your house can go a long way as far as at least making you feel safer and at least giving you some time to know that somebody's trying to get in before they're actually in there standing in your bedroom watching you sleep.
Yeah, no, that's definitely an uncomfortable feeling to wake up to the creeper standing in your bedroom door. There's no doubt about that.
Now, is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, I just, the more I think about, what goes on in the world, and there's really some crazies out there, and more people seem to feel entitled. They seem to feel like they can just take what they want. They don't see value in other people. I think it's more as we get into this, everything, the greater good is more important than the individual. People tend to see less value in life, and the more people become brazen to just take what they want. And I just think, we need to look out for our families. We need to take care of each other and, have them prepared to, to do the right thing and prepared to defend themselves. And you always kind of have to be on guard a little bit. We don't want to live in that world. You want to be happy, and we try and make our homes and our church and our places we go to be the safe place. And hopefully it is. But you also need that little bit of vigilance wherever you go to just kind of keep things moving smoothly. And that's, that's what we should all be working towards. That's part of the prepping, lifestyle. So,
right. And if you don't think there are people like that out there, go to some of those incel forums and things like that. Those people that they're involuntarily celibate because they're fat and disgusting and ugly and they don't shower, but they think it's women's fault.
It is women's fault.
Somebody finds them attractive. Just a heads up, if all women don't like you, then the problem isn't with the women. The problem is with you.
Really?
So just a heads up. Maybe start bathing every day.
Ooh.
Start with some things like that. Go to the gym once in a while. You don't have to finish the entire bag of Doritos and the entire 2 liters of Mountain Dew.
Well, before you say that, it's sometimes okay to be fat, because I have been seeing a trailer on my TV about like Insatiable Love or something, and they keep talking about Biggie.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen this trailer? No?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So apparently there's like a made-for-TV movie or something coming out about Biggie. And he, I think, was finishing the bag of Doritos and drinking the 2 liter of Pepsi. Mm-hmm. And that girl, I think we called her Left Eye from TLC.
Yep.
She was down. So, the girls are out there that like, whatever. But I'm just saying, the bathing might be the trick. And, if you're like me, you probably could lose a few pounds. But, hey, I like beer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I could probably lose a few pounds to myself, but, where's the beer going to go if it doesn't go there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Just got to switch over to whiskey, I guess.
Now, also, if you're enjoying the podcast, I don't know if you know this, but we have a Patreon account set up. if you go to patreon.com/preppingbadass, you can kind of support us and, help us out, keep things going. Does cost a little bit to keep this podcast rolling. Me and Kevin buying high-tech equipment and, keeping things rolling. Kevin also lives a pretty lavish lifestyle, and it takes a lot to keep that going.
That's right.
So if you want to support that,
Doritos.
Mountain Dew and Doritos and tequila.
That's not free, man.
No. So, but also another way that you could support us if you don't want to crack open the checkbook would be maybe head over to iTunes or wherever you're downloading the podcast and leave a review and let people know what you're thinking, that, if you're enjoying it. And also, Kevin was just saying it would be great. I know we ask about every month or 2 months and we don't get to everybody's ideas, but if you have ideas for a new show topic, things you want to hear about, if you think, oh, this topic was boring, I want to hear about prepper stuff. Well, what prepper stuff do you want to hear about? Tell us about the exact thing, you're looking to hear. And maybe you sent us this idea, but maybe we were too overwhelmed at that time with ideas that we didn't get to that one and it kind of fell through the cracks. So if you have good ideas, shoot Kevin an email at preppingbadass@gmail.com. Or maybe you just want to tell Kevin that you think his voice is sexy. Mm-hmm. And,
or if you're being stalked and the police aren't helping you, you can email Chuck or I, and we'll go over to his house with a baseball bat and pliers and take care of the situation.
Think of the lawyer in Caddyshack.
Yep. Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2? All right.
Yeah.
Something along that line. So with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass Podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.